I'm Andy Beningo, and I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been to some pretty cool places, and I've worked with some pretty cool people. This is my life on the road. What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of On the Road with Andy Beningo, and I'm actually crossing back into America. I spent the last month or so performing on the date night tour way up in Canada. The date night tour is the perfect night out for couples. They can go out and they can enjoy a little bit of stand-up comedy, an interactive game show much like Family Feud. And it's just a great way for couples to laugh and forget about their problems and to connect. We did 14 shows and 14 nights across 5 different Canadian provinces. It was exhausting, but man, every show was jam-packed. I think we sold like 14,000 tickets on the tour. That's insane. The crowds were literally lined up out the door trying to get into the shows. It was insane. I've never been part of a tour that cool before. Canada's awesome. For me, one of the coolest parts of the tour was getting a chance to work with a comedian named Mark Christopher Lawrence. You guys may recognize him from the show Chuck. What I love about Mark Christopher Lawrence is he's like one of the most easygoing guys in the world, and one of the funniest guys off stage as well. One of the funny things Mark likes to do is he likes to take selfies with people that have fallen asleep on airplanes. I knew this going in, so as soon as he fell asleep in the car, totally got a selfie of him sleeping. He thought that was hilarious, and we immediately became really good friends on the tour, just hanging out and goofing off. I will tell you this, Canada is cold. I think the warmest day in Winnipeg was like 5 degrees. But at least the scenery was nice. As a kid, I was a huge fan of Hockey Night in Canada. So for me, getting a chance to explore places like Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, some of these big hockey markets, for me was a dream come true. I got to visit some of the rinks as well. Got to go to see all the old Rogers Place, home of the Edmonton Oilers. Got to go to the Bell Center where the Winnipeg Jets play. I even got to hang out at some of the junior teams like the Peterborough Petes, where my favorite player of all time, Steve Yzerman, played. The rink was amazing. Couldn't believe how many former NHL players there. Of course, we had Steve Yzerman, who was my favorite player growing up. Hall of Famers and Larry Murphy and Chris Pronger. And also Mike Ricci. One of my favorite parts of the tour was when we actually were in Toronto and we stopped at the Hockey Hall of Fame. It was awesome getting a chance to go see some of the old sticks, some of the old jerseys, some of the old goalie masks. And I even got to show off some of my hockey skills. First one's at his mask.
Yeah.
What's up, Leafs? Probably the coolest part of the Hockey Hall of Fame, of course, is the trophy room. That's where they hold all the NHL trophies, including the Conn Smythe Trophy, which is awarded to the playoff MVP. And of course, the Stanley Cup. What? The Stanley Cup? The Stanley Cup? Dude, I got to touch the Stanley Cup. How crazy is that? So we're in the trophy room and I stop immediately and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is Hockey Hall of Famer Lanny McDonald. He used to play for the Maple Leafs. He used to play for the Calgary Flames. He won the Stanley Cup.
Blue, Hillendyke, center net. Scores! Lanny McDonald!
A Hockey Hall of Fame player is literally at the Hockey Hall of Fame. You couldn't have scripted that better. Of course, I'm really nervous. I'm like, I can't say anything to him. And Mark Christopher Lawrence is like, dude, you have to go say something to him. So we walked up and I was like, hello, Lanny McDonald. Can I get a picture with you? I didn't make it awkward at all. And he was very nice, very gracious, and we got this picture together. That was probably the highlight of the entire trip for me. One stop on the tour was to St. Catharines, where we actually got to tape a TV show for Yes TV. I performed with Mark Christopher Lawrence, Paul May, Joey Aiello, and Timmy Boyle also joined us on the show. But it was amazing. I think it was one of our biggest crowds of the tour. And it was just a fun evening. So we just finished up the tour. Our last two shows were in Saskatchewan, which of course is the birthplace of Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. Of course, being a Detroit Red Wings nerd, we got to go to the hockey rink where there was a Gordie Howe statue. And let me tell you, Gordie can still throw a mean elbow. And I did 2 shows with a very funny comedian named Leland Clausen. Overall, the date night tour was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and I really appreciate Eric Spath giving me an opportunity to perform and giving me an opportunity to see Canada. If you like this week's show, please click the subscribe button below and you'll get notifications to upcoming episodes.